CJ, first off, just talk about getting this opportunity on such short notice and not really having a chance to think about it too much.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, pleasantly surprised, obviously. I think this is a great honor to, be able to represent my university and come with Gabe Wright and Reese. Yeah, it was extremely short notice. I had to call my parents and tell them to rush me a suit, so they drove 2.5 hours to come see me. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm blessed to have this opportunity to speak in front of all of you all.
How much of a concern is it to you that the leader of your football team had to be replaced in this situation?
It's not really, I wouldn't call it a concern. Obviously, we're disappointed in, the actions that he chose to do, but at the same time, he addressed the team, we addressed the team, and Coach Malzahn will handle it accordingly, and he'll come back on the right track.
TJ, can you go into a little bit of what Dick said when he addressed the team?
He just expressed, his remorse for his actions. He said that he was gonna, take the punishment with open palms, as he should. And we don't have we haven't lost any faith in him. He's still a leader of our team, and he knows that. And so, that's pretty much what he said. It was short and sweet, and kind of to the point.
CJ, obviously you guys are going to have the target on your back this year. Talk a little bit about how you think you guys will handle it, having gone through what you did last year, going all the way to the championship, dealing with the spotlight like you did. How much that'll help you guys this year?
I think that'll help tremendously, especially because, like you said, the spotlight kind of got really big on us after going 3-9, and then having the turnaround season that we did is something that, hasn't been done before in college football. So I think that's going to help us a lot. Like you said, we have a target on our back. We're someone said we're the hunted now instead of being the hunter. So I think that, we'll prepare accordingly. We're still going to prepare just as hard and just as intense. But, like you said, that kind of exposure that we had towards the end of the season will definitely help us out a lot.
CJ, last year the loss to LSU was almost like a turning point. You guys, went on a big run after that. Can you talk about that game from last year and then hosting LSU at home this year in early October?
Yeah, that game kind of, like you said, defined us as a team. Coming back and getting the W on the road the week after, and we felt like we had, we go back to that game a lot, and we felt like we matured a lot as a team. We could have rolled over and just played dead pretty much, after we got down really big in the first quarter, but we didn't. We fought back hard, and I think that showed our maturity. We felt like we were kind of a young group, and we grew up a lot that game. And going against LSU, obviously this is a tough conference. That's always a good team, and playing them at home is going to help tremendously in our atmosphere.
CJ, there have been a couple of instances in the summer where Jonathan Vinci and Nick Marshall had issues with marijuana. As a team leader, how difficult is that issue to kind of, get your hands on and try to tell guys, how serious of an issue I guess that can be? Is that a problem?
Yeah, it's not a problem at all. We've had one of the cleanest tracks since Coach Malzahn's gotten here. Like you said, over the past 2 weeks, we just had, 2 leaders of the team that have just made poor decisions, but, they're gonna learn from their mistakes. Coach Malzahn's gonna handle it accordingly, and, as a senior class, we're a tight-knit group, and we're gonna get on them, and, they're gonna come back and they're gonna continue being leaders for the team.
Hey, CJ, over here. Who's the most underrated player in the SEC?
The most underrated player in the SEC? Man, that's a tough question. I don't know how much talk he's gotten. He's one of my good friends, so I'm going to say Chris Conley for UGA. Just because he's a good friend, he's a buddy of mine. I knew him since high school, and I'm not really sure how much talk there is about him, but I think he's a great player.
CJ, as good as the offense was last year, I know there's been a focus to improve the passing game this year. You know, how much progress do you feel like has been made in that area, and what we're going to see in the passing game?
Man, it's made tremendous strides. You know, I think our spring game was a testament to that. You know, we acquired Duke Williams, and you know, he's just a beast, completely and honestly. He's something that, you know, we need in the passing game for, you know, downfield threat. Obviously, we have Sammy Coates, who made like the #1 freak list or whatever that, you know, was posted. And you have a lot of guys coming back. You know, we can stretch the field vertically and horizontally. And, you know, it's going to open up a lot of things for the run game as well. So, you know, we're looking for, there's high expectations for sure to be able to distribute the ball, not just, you know, running the ball, but also passing as well.
CJ, can you elaborate a little bit? What are your thoughts on your freshman teammates? Any major standouts?
Yeah, I like Marlon Burton. You know, he's a Georgia native, so I know a little bit about him. And, you know, I think he just shows, you know, unbelievable work ethic. You know, he's asking a lot of questions about the playbook. Our playbook's kind of, I mean, it's hard to kind of get a grasp, especially, you know, as a freshman, all the bullets flying at you. But, you know, I think he's grown a lot in the short amount of time, and, you know, I think he's impressed me probably the most.
Would you say that wearing the target and preparing the way you all have, as opposed to last year, being the ones kind of chasing, which standpoint's easier, do you think, in preparing for the season?
I think as a player, I would say being the hunter is probably a little easier. You know, I'm sure if you ask Coach Malzahn, he's going to say, oh, it's the exact same. We're going to prepare hard for every game. But, you know, I think definitely for sure being the hunted is a little bit more challenging because, you know, you're going to get your best from, I mean, obviously you're going to get your best, but you might get even a little bit more from, you know, playing, you know, your rival or playing a team that has nothing to lose and really wants their revenge from last season. So, you know, we definitely have that, we know that feeling going 3-9 and then, you know, wanting to beat every team that we played the next year. So I think that's going to be a little more challenging for sure.
Yeah, CJ, I know there's personal disappointment in the program not winning the national title, but how about maybe dropping that for the SEC as a whole, you know, not continuing that run of championships, and how disappointing is that? Do you take that personally as part of the conference, you know, the bigger picture?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's something that was extremely tough to swallow right when it happened as a team. And then you look, like you just said, you know, you look back at it, and the SEC has this unbelievable, you know, tradition of winning national championships and being the best conference. And so, I mean, it was tough, especially it being the last year for, you know, the BCS. But, you know, I guess we're going to use that as motivation and definitely try to get back this year.
CJ, we know the numbers were staggering offensively last year, and listening to you guys talk in the spring and how things probably went in the offseason, you guys have not shied away from saying this could be even better offensively. You guys haven't, you know, been humble about it. You guys have been saying, hey, we're going to be explosive. Talk about that and what you expect then offensively that could be even more mind-blowing than what we saw last year. Yeah,
our goal is to be the number one offense in the nation, and that's something that Coach Malzahn's emphasizing, you know, both running and passing the ball. And, you know, we have confidence in ourselves. We have confidence in our coaches. We have confidence in our game plan. You know, obviously we've lost a few key players, but we have a bunch of players that are going to step up. We have a lot of, you know, young running backs. We have Cam Artis-Payne and Corey Grant, the two seniors that are going to lead the way, but we have a lot of young guys that are coming in, and, you know, they have a load of talent. I can't wait to see them when they get pads on, and, you know, it's going to be a show for sure. But, you know, we also have a pretty experienced offensive line. We have a veteran offensive line that, you know, we can trust, and we know that we can run behind them no matter what happens. You know, they can know the play, and we're still going to run our game plan. So we just feel that if we execute and we prepare, then, you know, we'll be able to kind of just be the best offense.
How has Nick improved as a passer and throwing the ball deeper down the field for you guys this year? I
don't think that, you know, arm strength was ever a question with him. You know, coming out of the first game, he was throwing it as far as he pretty much could, but I think that the finesse has gotten a lot better. You know, he's putting the ball in places, you know, in the perfect place pretty much. I mean, you don't have to, you know, he's not going to overthrow a receiver, he's not going to underthrow. You know, he's gotten a relationship with us. You know, he's been here for over a year now, which I think has helped him tremendously, and he's getting more comfortable with each receiver. He knows where we're going to be, when we're going to be there, and I think that, you know, the off season and, you know, having that one season under his belt has definitely helped tremendously in that aspect.
Right here up front.
CJ, with the college football playoff starting this year, your thoughts on the Final Four of football and having played against FSU in January and the toll that would take on you, how much, what would it be like for the two teams to play another game of that nature a week later?
I don't think it would be, you know, too physically, you know, draining really. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, our goal is to win the SEC championship, and if we win the SEC championship, we'll feel that we'll be in a position to go to the playoff. But, you know, I think that's just one more, you know, step in, you know, playing the best team. You know, if you want to be the best, you have to play the best, and being able to do that, I think is gonna, you know, I think it's gonna bring more interest maybe to college football more than there already is. But you know, I don't think it'll be too physically tolling on us. I think we'll be amped up about, you know, having a chance to play for a national championship. So I don't think it'll be bad at all.
CJ Athlon just came out with a college football venue poll. They rated LSU's Tiger Stadium #1. What do you see as the toughest venues, and where does Auburn rate?
I think, you can't, I mean, I'm definitely going to be biased towards that. I'm going to say Auburn is the best place to play no matter what, but I mean, you know, I think South Carolina has to be up there. You know, they're loud the entire time. Obviously, LSU is one of the hardest places to play in, no matter what. I mean, I have to rank us, you know, top 3 at least. Our fans are, you know, they're adamant about their football. You know, down south, it's a different thing. You know, we don't have a pro team, so Alabama definitely, you know, they definitely get, you know, hyped up for their football. And then I think Georgia definitely has to, you know, rank up there too, because that place gets pretty loud also.
Bye. CJ, if you could give a preseason prediction for the 4 teams that are going to be in the college football playoff and why.
Well, Auburn, we're going to be there. Why are we going to be there? Because, you know, we have this mentality. Our kind of motto is TNT, toughen together, and you know we're 13 seconds away, and that's kind of our mentality. We're going to be 13 seconds better at everything that we do. You know, Coach Malzahn kind of pulled us together and said, you know, we're going to brush our teeth 13 seconds better. We're going to sleep 13 seconds longer, and, you know, do whatever it takes to, you know, win each game, you know, better and prepare harder than we ever have. So I think that we're definitely going to be there. I think that Florida State has an outstanding squad coming back, so I think that they have to be in the running. I think obviously Ohio State, I think that they're a pretty solid squad. I mean, they were solid last year, and you know, I think that another SEC team has to be in there. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know if might be Alabama, might be Georgia. You know, they have another good squad coming back, so. I don't know, you can take your pick from SEC schools because, you know, it's always a hard conference.
CJ, after that Iron Bowl win, what was the craziest thing that you witnessed?
Craziest thing that...
Either on the field or off.
Listen, I didn't witness this, but I saw on Twitter, obviously because Twitter runs the world, saw on Twitter that someone put their ashes on the field. And I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to play on the field again. Then you like redo the turf or something. But yeah, that's definitely the craziest thing I've probably. I mean, I saw people run out with pylons, and obviously everyone was like taking pieces of the shrubs and stuff. But dumping ashes, and that's probably. I don't even know why you had ashes in your purse the whole time to begin with, but that's probably the craziest thing for sure.
CJ, there's been a lot of discussion recently about trying to find ways to add to you guys financial stipend, things like that. How do you feel about student athletes getting more money and finding ways to get you guys more money?
Well, obviously, I'm going to go ahead and say, I mean, I wouldn't mind having more money in my pocket, but at the same time, you know, we're getting a free education. You know, we're being able to play a sport that, you know, we've played and, you know, we've loved for so long. while getting a free education. And I mean, again, like I said, I don't think that if you ask every player that comes through here, they're going to say, oh yeah, sure, we'd love more money, but at the same time, you know, we understand that you know, we're having the opportunity to do something that some people only dream of, you know, as kids. So you know, that's pretty much where I stand with that.
Right here. You mentioned your trip to South Carolina in 2013. Why do you think Auburn has had such a lopsided lead over South Carolina historically, and even especially the last few years? And what are your early thoughts about that game on October 25th?
Historically, I'm not really sure why we have such a lopsided lead. But, you know, since I've been here, I don't know, we just come out ready to play, I guess. I mean, we know that a lot's at stake. You know, usually that game is something of value. I mean, every game is something of value, but that game especially. And, you know, this upcoming game, I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm looking forward to get after it with them and, you know, see what they've got, because we didn't play them last year. So we've had kind of like a year off, I don't know. So I'm excited for it.
Right. CJ, with the way your season went last year, how much can it help as you guys build this program?
I think it helps tremendously. I think that, you know, the freshmen that are coming in, they've bought into everything that we've implemented, that the coaches have implemented, that Coach Russell has instilled in us. You know, they're not missing a beat. They're already in stride with us, and I think that's going to help for not only them, but, you know, when they're seniors, they're going to help the freshmen out, and it's just going to be, you know, kind of like a recurring theme that, you know, continues throughout the program. And I think that's important. I think that's important in, you know, building the structure of Auburn and getting back to playing, you know, tough, hard-nosed Auburn football.
CJ, the talk of the no-huddle offenses brought up a lot of controversy last season. Auburn, obviously, one of the biggest proponents of that. You know, with some of the off-season moves, maybe trying to limit those offensive fences, safety concerns coming in, what's your thought kind of on being a part of, you know, a group that does run the football that way?
You know, our goal is to be the fastest offense in the nation. And, you know, whatever rule, you know, if there's a rule that comes out, we'll take it as it goes, but I don't think that there are too many safety concerns. I've played football since I was 6, kind of in that offense. So I don't think there are too many safety concerns as that's considered or as that goes, but you know, I definitely think it's more fun to watch, if that makes any consolation.
CJ, the NCAA is talking about limiting practices, and how do you guys feel about that as far as limiting your practices and how many times you can hit during the week? How would that affect you guys as far as preparing for a game?
I'm not sure how much you know, that would hinder or help. You know, during the season, coaches really try to protect you and, you know, kind of try to lay it off you as much as possible. Obviously, you want to get some physical contact in so that, you know, you'll make tackles or you won't fumble the ball if someone hits you. But at the same time, you know, the coaches know that, you know, player safety is the most important thing, especially during practice. You don't want to get hurt during that. So I think, you know, I don't think it'll hinder or help, you know, all that much, to be completely honest.
In the very back.
Okay.
CJ, I'm sorry, right here. I know this may still be a little hard to talk about, but with the recent passing of Phil Lutzenkirchen, how is the team sort of dealing with it and choosing to honor his memory moving on?
Yeah, honestly, you know, it was hard at first. It was extremely hard. But, you know, at the same time, it's, you know, it's hard to not be able to smile, you know, when you hear his name or when you think about him, because he was just such a, I mean, he was a goober. That's like the only word I can use to describe how, I mean, he was around everybody. So, you know, you know, it's brought the team together a lot, especially the, you know, older players that knew him. And, you know, I had the privilege of playing with him and playing against him in high school even. So, you know, it's always an honor to, I mean, he's an Auburn great for sure. So we've kind of rallied around that a lot, and it's gotten us a lot closer as a team.
What's your favorite moment with Malzahn? Whether it's like, what's the maddest you've ever seen him, or the funniest moment you've ever had with him as a player with him?
Yeah, I don't know. He's goofy. I mean, he like when you talk to him, he doesn't show his, I mean, I don't know, his, you know, his humor maybe as much, but he's a really funny guy. I mean, he doesn't laugh when he makes jokes, which makes it a little funnier, or kind of like makes us hesitant to laugh because we're like, can we laugh or not? But I think any moment with him and Coach Lashley, or when he points out something that, someone did their freshman year, he has a photographic memory. Like, it's something I've never seen. We're supposed to go 10 yards on a route, and I remember he talked to Emery Blake, and he said this every time Emery ran a post. He said, Emery, now you go 10 yards. You don't go 9.5 like you did against Mississippi State. And Emery's like, Coach, yes, sir. That will never happen again. And he's like, yeah, look at this. And he'll pull up the clip on spot and show the entire team what he's talking about. He's like, yeah, guys, I'm not crazy. Look at this. You do what I say and you'll score a touchdown. So, I think things like that are funny, but at the same time, it's like, I hope that doesn't happen to me ever.
What was it that Coach Malzahn did for you guys? Because you knew you had the talent, the recruiting classes, things like that. But what was it that kind of flipped that switch to, you know what, we're more than just good players, we can be a great team, and turn it around like you did?
I think that it kind of happened in the weight room, first and foremost with Coach Russell. Kind of just, we hit the ground, and it was not a joke to Coach Russell. It was straight business the entire time. And I think that hearing Coach Malzahn say it's a new day, and seeing what all the coaches were doing for us and with us, and really how they were preparing us for the season, I think that kind of just flipped the switch to us that, first of all, we don't want to be 3-9 ever again. We don't want to have that feeling ever again in our football career or whatever. But I think that really kind of motivated us a lot. And Coach Russell in the weight room, still to today. We worked out today, and has that same mentality as when he first came in. So I think that's definitely helped us out a lot.
Last question.
CJ, what tradition from another SEC school bothers you the most or annoys you the most when you have to hear it?
Mississippi State cowbells. 100%. There's nothing, those things are just like, you can hear ringing in your head after the game. That's pretty bad. Yeah, that's for sure the worst, in my opinion.
Okay.